Let's talk about Darius Garland, Spencer. He's a guy that some people in the chat have also touted, coming off of an injury, torn meniscus, but highly touted in the high school circuits, and you have him in your top 5, man. Tell us a little bit about why you like Darius Garland.
Yeah, so I actually went to Vanderbilt, full disclosure.
Oh, there you go. He's a homer, Jay Ellis.
I see.
He's a homer. It all makes sense. It all makes sense.
But like the way I see it, the two of the biggest strengths you can have at point guard right now are the ability to shoot, especially off the dribble, and then obviously playmaking, and then athleticism is there also. He's not the athlete Ja Morant is. Like he's not. He never will be. But in tight spaces, the guy I think is actually even quicker than Ja. Like north-south, he's not Ja. East-west, I think he is Ja, if not more. But it's the ability to just, like, he'll pull up from 30 feet, and it'll be Trae Young-like, just completely effortless.
Yeah, looks like a better shooter than Morant.
Yeah, oh, much better. Much better. I actually see some shades of Damian Lillard in his game, just because, like, he'll pull up right hand, left hand again from 30 feet, pick and roll, whatever, and he'll pull and he'll hit it. Actually have the synergy stats pulled up right here. He was in the 99th percentile in jump shots. I mean, he played 4 games and then 4 minutes of the 5th game, but not like. He was 19 of 34 from on jump shots. That's great. And then even finishing around the rim, he's a bit slight.
Yeah.
But he's super comfortable with either hand. Like he'll reach around with his left hand. He'll use every possible inch of his wingspan just to get the edge. And he's got a very soft touch. His playmaking, like he's not Chris Paul, but I think he's a better playmaker than Lillard. He's not, Ja Morant's playmaker, but you got to leverage. You got to figure out, like, with the jump shot, you can take maybe a little bit slightly worse playmaker, because if anything, in the NBA where there's more spacing, they'll have to get out further.
Yeah.
And with his quickness, he can create looks off the dribble, just because guys have to respect the shot.
So what you're saying is, because a lot of people have Ja Morant number 2 in their minds. So what you're saying is you have him over Ja strictly because the jump shot is just that much further along.
Yeah, I think the jumper is basically what sets apart good players from great players. And Garland's one of the best college shooters I've seen. I mean, Ja's not. And people say, Ja's got a good free throw shooting percentage. He's like 81, 82% or something like that. He went 21 for 21 one game, and he's in the 30s from 3. But the form I don't think is translatable. And, he's got – it's not even like he just has one elbow shooting out. Like both of the elbows are out, and that's not good for the ability to just pull up on a dime and shoot off the dribble. And again, Garland can do that now. So I think he'll be able to leverage that shooting ability to create looks at the rim for himself and then to create easy looks for other guys. Whereas it's harder to do that when you're just an athlete and you have the passing ability.
So you think, because you don't hear too much about Garland, unless maybe, you're in your line of work where, you guys are studying these guys. But do you think it's maybe because of the injury why he's not being as highly touted as Morant right now?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if he had been healthy this season, I think he would have been easily the number one point guard, number one point guard in the draft. But, I mean, he's hurt. So. Yeah. Out of sight, out of mind. And then, when they have the interviews and stuff like that near the combine, the guy's super personable. Like, he's a fun guy. He's apparently a really hard worker, so I think he'll ace the interviews. Will he be the first point guard? I mean, if I'm a GM, I'm taking him first if I need that point guard. But I'm not a GM yet.
He's on the way, man. He's on the way. And he throws in his fellow alum in the top 5 jails.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Take it how you want it. Take it how you want it.
I forgot Spencer went to Vanderbilt, man. I forgot he went to Vanderbilt. When I was hyping up the show, I said, your top 5 is not who they think it is, man, because you got Ja Morant outside of your top 5, man.
Yep.
24 points, 10 dimes, 2 steals for Ja Morant.
Yeah.
Yeah, this kid looks like a beast, man. I don't know, man. He just looks like he just has it, man. I actually saw a little bit of Lillard in Ja Morant.
Really?
You know, I definitely did. What's your take when people are you also along the lines when people say he hasn't played anybody, Spencer?
I mean, his conference is bad, but he showed out against Auburn and was it Alabama?
Yeah, Alabama game over Christmas break. He had a good showing. Auburn as well.
Yeah. So I don't think it's. I mean, his schedule is easier, but the two big games he's had this year, or two of the big games he's had this year, was against great competition, and Auburn's defense is like ridiculously stingy.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
I mean, outside of the shot, what's your take on his playmaking ability, man? Because that's what I like about him as well, man. The assist numbers are nice.
Yeah. So his passing it's special. Like, it's very, very good, and it's actually funny because in the beginning of the year, I'm like, all right, is it really that good, or is it just because of him being the only guy initiating the offense? So I think I missed maybe like 3 games of his this year. His vision's like it's great.
Right.
Yeah, he has the ability to like make those left-handed hook passes that Trey can make. Does like right hand, tries to force it maybe a little bit too much, which is probably why his turnovers are a little bit too high. But the passing ability, like, I love. If you had his passing ability with Darius Garland's shot, oof, that'd be special.
Yeah. Yeah, I like his playmaking, man, and athleticism. I just like that dog in him, even on defense, man. He's jumping through the gym, JLs.
I like the dog point guards.
Yeah, man.
Like,
I know his off-ball defense isn't all that good. It's like off and on.
Yeah, and then even like the point of attack stuff, like getting over the screens and the pick and roll, if he's hit, he's done. Like, he's not trying to get back in the play, and he takes so many questionable steal attempts, like 60 feet away from the basket, and that stuff you can be taught out of. But there have been few players I've seen who actually look like they care less than him on defense. And, you know, it's interesting because on offense, when he has the ball, you see all the flash. You see his mind's like he wants to do something positive, even if it doesn't always work. But when he's off ball on offense, he's just kind of, you know, lollygagging around. He's not really moving much. Yeah, Ja's, he's interesting. Like, even next year's point guard crop, I'd take pretty much all of them over him.
Who's number one next year? Is that Cole Anthony or is he someone else?
For point? Yeah. I mean, Cole's definitely up there. There's another guy, Theo Maledon.
Okay.
He's for ASVEL or ASVL. There's another one, Killian Hayes. So Maledon's like a 6'5". He's a great defender. He's a great pick and roll player. He's got awesome finishing ability, and he just turned 18. Killian Hayes is more of like that smooth, play it, you know, slow down pace, but he can pick you apart. Passing, he can shoot a little bit, but that still needs a little bit of work. And then obviously Cole Anthony, everyone from New York knows.
Yeah, of course.
And everyone in the country knows who Cole Anthony is.
Right.
And then Anthony Edwards, who reclassified, and now he's playing at Georgia next year. He's not a point guard, but he's like a primary option on offense. He's that lead guard. I like Edwards a lot too.
Okay. Back to Morant. Another thing I see people, knock him on is his size. What do you think about that in terms of his frame and height?
Yeah, I don't think it's that good. Like, I don't think he's ever going to be that. Like, he's not going to be Russell Westbrook. He's not going to be Chris Paul. Though Chris Paul is a little chunkier more than he is, like, muscly, I guess. But I mean, he's 175 now, I think.
175, yeah, 6'3", 175.
Yeah, so I mean, I can see him getting to like 185. I wouldn't really want to go much above that. I don't really think there's a need to, because even if he gets like 200 pounds, it's going to reduce some of his athleticism probably, and he's not going to be a switch guy anyway. So I think it'd be kind of pointless to get like that big. But yeah, going back, his frame's not great. It's not the worst thing in the world, but I don't think it's that good.
In terms of the draft strategy, I'm always with the best player available sort of deal. if we get to a 3 or 4 slot come May 14th, and you have Morant and Garland there, not knowing what the free agency holds and still having Dennis Smith Jr. there, you think they should pull it regardless?
And in most drafts, I'm a fan of just pick the best player, just because you can usually tell who it is. But after Zion, you can make an argument for, 6, 7, 8 different guys.
Yeah.
So I guess unless if they really buy into Garland or Morant, then you should definitely pull the trigger and you should draft him. And I do think there's some sort of a market for Dennis Smith Jr., even with, the defensive concerns and the inconsistent shot. The Knicks they're in an interesting place, I guess, just because they have no true number one guy. It's not like they're trying to win now. It's the accumulation of assets and trying to get lucky in free agency.
Right. And we're in an asset building phase, JL. So what do you think about that? If the point guard is sitting there on the 3-4 slot or even the 5 slot, do you go there if he's the best player available, or do you try to address another need area, JL? What do you think?
Man, I've been going back and forth this all the time, but I'm like, Kyrie's coming, might as well get him anyway.
See, this is why I wish free agency was before the draft. It only makes sense, man.
Yeah.
It only makes sense. Free agency needs to come before the draft so that we know for sure, like, okay, Kyrie's not coming. Let's address, whatever it is we need to address.
Because then we got trade chips.
Then you got trade chips. I wish they would do that, man. But what do you guys think about that in the chat, man? If the point guard is available and we're looking at the 3 to 5 range, still having DSJ, and you have a guy like a Morant or Garland up there, what do you guys do? Let us know in the chat. Leave a comment in the chat.
I don't know what you guys think, because when I see Zion defensively, it's like Draymond Green on steroids.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said his defense is more to me than his athleticism.
Yeah. That to me, I'm like, at the very least, he's going to score 15 points by accident,
right?
Just from getting to the line and easy dunks.